Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's discussion on AI and EdTech, revolutionizing education for the 21st century. In the 21st century, AI is not just enhancing traditional education, but fundamentally reshaping it. From personalized learning experiences, real time feedback, and adaptive assessments to virtual classrooms that break geographical boundaries, AI in education is making the impossible possible. For educators, the revolution is offering tools that automate administrative tasks, analyze students' data. At first, we have Mr. Sudhir Kukreja. So, would like you to tell something about yourselves and welcome to the panel discussion.
Thanks, Roshali. Thank you so much. And thanks to Team Gravitas for arranging this particular webinar. To introduce myself, I am Sudhir Kukreja. I am the founder and CEO of Credence Group of Schools. As a school, we operate around 37 campuses across Mumbai, Pune, Hyderabad, and Indore. We have preschools by the name Kidzonia. We operate two high schools under the brand Credence and Faith Foundation. So, been a educationist for almost last 17 years, catering to almost 5,000 plus students across the network of schools that we're operating. Quite happy to see a lot of activities happening in the tech space where schools are embracing new age technologies, and very excited to be seeing Gravitas taking a step ahead and making schools come forward and embrace new aspects of imparting quality education. So look forward to an interactive session. Thank you.
And now we would like Mr. Aarsh Srivastava, who is the co-founder of Gravitas AI, to introduce himself.
Thanks, Roshali. Thanks for hosting both of us. And I'm really excited to be on the same panel with Mr. Sudhir. So I'm Aarsh Srivastava, one of the co-founders of this company. And I'm mostly been involved into AI and AI strategy building across different MNCs and also like contribute a lot in terms of product development. That is my core expertise and core area. We are taking strides in multiple sectors, including healthcare, education, and customer support, retail, etc. And we're trying to build a conversation AI platform. So I'm leading that particular platform building and at Gravitas AI, and also looking at the strategy of the Gravitas AI company. That's a bit about me. I do have a bit of interest in the education sector, and in terms of like being a part of the ecosystem. And as for that, I do work with colleges, for mentoring students, and also being part of the colleges as advisors.
Thank you for the lovely introduction, sir. So, now starting with the opening keynote section. So, my first question is for you, Mr. Sudhir, that how do you envision AI and EdTech transforming the traditional classrooms into more dynamic learning environments?
So I think AI is probably a part of the larger spectrum of tech enablement that's happening across schools. Thanks to COVID, of course, the entire tech adoption with the teachers, with the school heads, principals, really got a boost. And maybe, of course, during COVID times, we really did not have that much of boost in terms of AI that we had. But of course, with the advent of ChatGPT, Gemini, and Google, and all those new products which have come up recently, they have probably become the next round of impetus that was needed in the education space. A lot of things which are still at a beta stage, a lot of things which are still at an experimental stage, a lot of capacity building, hand holding, teachers training, orientation. So I believe education space in India, or maybe even worldwide, we all are in a very exploratory mode right now, where everybody is trying to experiment, figure out what is good, what is bad of the adaptation. Yes, there are ethical concerns around AI in the hands of the students, but it probably calls for a little bit of orientation to the parents, orientation to the children, helping each one of them understand as to the fact that every technology has its pros and cons. From the days when we invented the calculators to the time when we invented computers, to the time when we came to Google and mobile phones of the world, to the AI. So last 4 decades, 5 decades, I think we've seen a new devil every week, every decade. So, but each of these devils has added and helped the progress of the world, of various sectors, various economies, various countries, various people. So none of us can actually imagine our world without a mobile phone today. but 20 years ago there did not exist a object called mobile phone. So of course, anything new has its own challenges. There are a lot of apprehensions around adapting. Human mind is, conditioned and designed to be a little reluctant to change initially, but it takes, some bit of effort to bring everybody in to a consensus kind of a role. And when we start seeing as to how that new technology is adding value and making life easier and making the processes more efficient, the outcomes better, so automatically the adaptation starts coming in. I have done my bit of research in terms of how the AI adaptation is in the education space across the globe, and it is improving with every passing day. So, I mean, yes, sounds like an exciting space, but a lot of work for sure.
Definitely, I'll take it forward from where he left. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of work that needs to be done, especially around the use of technology. So technology is it's evolving. We are getting new things coming up. LLM models are getting more enriched, and there will be more things coming up after this as well. But how do we use technology to do the right things for the sector? That is something which is important, and that is where I think we are a bit lagging, and we should focus more on the user journeys, try to understand the different pain points of different stakeholders, departments, and then take us straight forward to build up solutions rather than implementing technology straight away. We should be thinking more of the from the user centric point. And I think the question itself is very well shaped up, wherein we are trying to envision the AI and EdTech transformation. These things will go hand in hand, as you can't put everything like AI into everything and also EdTech into everything. It has to be a mix of both, because the technology which is being used for different applications might have some loopholes here and there, and might have some areas of improvements where AI can be plugged in. So we have to see AI as a tool which can be plugged in into different journeys at different stages, and then improve the productivity, reduce the BAU tasks, and see how we can get more insightful in terms of its users understanding and getting insights of the performance, whether it's about the machine or about the stakeholders who are involved.
Thank you for that insightful perspective. And I would also like to add that as we look ahead to the future, that AI and EdTech will transform traditional classrooms by creating more dynamic, student-centered learning environments. So, with AI-driven tools providing personalized learning paths and real-time feedback, students will definitely be able to learn faster. Teachers can focus on fostering creativity, collaboration, and critical thinking skills. That is very crucial for the future of the students. So now moving towards the next question. Uh, what are some real-world examples where AI and EdTech have successfully transformed learning outcomes?
uh, Real world examples of how EdTech has improved learning outcomes. So I think, like I said, most of the schools across the globe are still in experiment phase. You will come across a lot of success stories. You will come across some amazing experiments that are being done. Um, I speak in a lot of educational conferences. I keep meeting a lot of people who are working on the different edtech products. And yesterday only, I think we were discussing with someone that almost 80-85% of the edtech products which are now coming into the market for enhancing and kind of helping students learn better, they have one or the other AI models embedded into it, which is leading to a lot of personalization of the learning journey. AI is enabled and empowered, to help help a teacher identify as to what are the learning gaps of individual students, which of course is never possible in a conventional classroom. Here we have an opportunity where we can identify that, all right, if the same concept is taught in a classroom, what part of it is understood by one child and what part of it is not understood by the other child. So that in itself would probably be revolutionary. Yes, it is a Herculean task to implement it to say 27 crore students that we have in this country. That's a task in itself. But yes, it has started making inroads. Most of the progressive schools have started adapting it. So whether it is MCQ based test, whether it is various testing platforms that everybody's using, whether it is the learning platforms. So most of the AI enabled tech solution providers have now started partnering with various schools and educators and teachers. So it's a learning process for school owners and maybe the teachers as well. So they are exploring it on a daily basis, coming into new dimensions. And once they are able to identify that, okay, this is the utility of it, I think they're building on that learning on a day-to-day basis, and that's where success stories are being created on a daily basis. So yes, I mean, we don't have something which you can probably go and publish in a Times of India front page, but it's in every classroom where the magic is happening, and that's where I think as a country, as a school, as a city, things are being transformed.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And the learning point was really important because we have to understand that the stakeholders involved are coming from different backgrounds. So even the technology suppliers like us, we need to understand that we have to take it in a way that is convenient for the users. So whether we are talking about the end user who is receiving the content, or the user who are actually trying to provide the content, or the people who are actually providing the educators basically. So there should be carefully built up journeys wherein we can have that training aspect built in those in the development, the whole development journey basically, so that we can provide the right kind of output to the people who are using it, and then they should be able to use it. There's also there are also little maybe a bit of myths around this about the users, etc. But with good amount of training and understanding, and letting people know how it will benefit them, so a lot of things can be removed. So definitely there's a lot of opportunities in each and every department. For example, we started doing the things for admissions department, wherein we are doing automated conversations through multiple channels, whether it's omni-channel, web assistants, WhatsApp assistants, etc. All of that. So through this, we can automate a lot of conversations, take the BAU effort, which is a lot of effort, which goes into talking to people, and doing some sort of like transactional activities like registrations, or maybe getting the leaves sorted, etc. Those sort of things, which can be which require different people from different ecosystems to interact between them. So I think similarly in different areas, there's a lot can be done. We are also coming up with some good automation for the placement department for colleges. So yeah, definitely there's a lot of requirement, but it has to be solved in pieces, working through different departments and stakeholders.
Thank you for sharing those valuable insights on how AI and technology can enhance learning efficiency and engagement, and thus can make education more accessible and adaptive to individual needs. Now, moving towards our table talk segments, how do you think that AI and EdTech can transform parent teacher communication and involvement in a student's learning journey?
I think parents are an integrated part of the ecosystem. Obviously, a communication between the parents and the schools and the teachers is of paramount importance when it comes to a child's learning journey. So most of the schools that you would come across today have a very transparent and a very lucid communication environment with the parents. And unlike previous times, now there is a huge amount of involvement from a parent's end on a day-to-day basis in the learning process of a child. They are keen to know what is happening inside the school. They're keen to know what the child is learning, where the child is struggling, what is the child's learning graph, etc. And thanks to, I think, the tech and the AI platforms, whether it is in the form of ERPs, whether it's in the form of video feeds, analysis of speeches, analysis of various session recordings, etc. So I think there are a lot of advancements which are taking place. Exciting times. Of course, these are complex technologies, not accessible, not understood by everybody in a very simple framework. But yeah, I mean, at least the outcome is something which everybody is able to, kind of uh, acknowledge, accept, understand. So that is something which is probably the process which everyone has to go through. So we all know how to use Google. We don't know how Google is created. That is someone's specialist job. Somebody sitting back and doing it, which is fairly possible. And that is the same story with AI as well. I am more interested in what is happening with my child. What are the updates on the child's front? As long as they are reaching to me with the efficient platform, and that platform is being created by some tech experts or AI experts, that's a blessing for the ecosystem. And that's exactly what the parents' expectations are. So while we are seeing all those advancements in all the other industries and all other walks of life, same is the story with the education space, whether it is engaging with the parents, collecting their feedback, taking their inputs, on all aspects of a child parent interaction. There are various elements which are being contributed by the parent, and yes, now schools have a much better communication ecosystem and an analysis process which is definitely empowered and enabled by a AI tool or AI technology at the back.
Yeah, and very rightly said, and also parent-teacher communication. So this is something which is more of a human conversation. It involves a lot of understanding, because typically the stakeholders who are involved in between is the child. So we need to understand. We need to be very careful about this if you're trying to transform this to artificial intelligence. So there has to be certain do's and certain don'ts, which we should take care of while implementing. I'm talking on the basis of the current scenario of the maturity of technology. Maybe in some years we'll have more mature technology which can deal with more personalization. Definitely, I'm not saying it can't be done here as of now, but getting to the next level of personalization will definitely require a more robust framework. So we can get to that particular level, but we should be here at this point of time. We should be definitely considering the do's and the don'ts. Okay, these type of communications we should be like automating through artificial intelligence, and where we should be actually passing that back to the actual humans. That is something which is important. And also in terms of involvement in the students' learning journey, definitely there's a lot of involvement. I remember our times when we used to like explore through libraries, go through books, and try to find content and resource here and there to get the right kind of knowledge, or like right kind of uh, opportunity to explore more. But with this kind of technology, like 10 years back also, like even YouTube was being used more as a content for learning purposes. So it was a great revolution. But with this kind of technology, now you can have everything in seconds. So you don't need to search. You just need to put the right kind of prompts in ChatGPT or LM models and get the right kind of resources. So that's very important, which should be taken in a positive way, because it's not about that the student is trying to get away from the hard work which they need to do, but we are trying to save the work of the student by providing them smart tools. They get the resources and they can spend more time on getting more creative. So that is where we can focus as educators and try to like leverage the technology. So there are multiple other use cases which we can talk about in terms of how AI can be leveraged further to increase the involvement in students' learning journey. And this is one of the examples.
Thank you, Sudhir and Arsa, for shedding light on this important aspect. And yes, if adding to both of your points, AI and EdTech are transforming parent-teacher communication to a great extent. Firstly, by providing real-time updates on student progress through applications and through dashboards. And second, it also enables parents to stay more informed and engaged. So, this increased transparency fosters stronger collaboration between educators and parents both, ultimately enhancing the overall learning experience for students in the long run. So now talking about the next question on the same lines, that how can AI enhance the development of critical thinking and problem solving skills in students?
Well, that's like a little controversial part of the discussion. Yeah, because very
Indeed, it is.
honestly, as much interaction I have had with the education fraternity, with all the tools available so far, I haven't really come across anything really major where AI is contributing to the critical thinking and problem solving aspect of it. Whether you talk about ChatGPT or you talk about Google Gemini's or other platforms which have come up. So far, I think the journey of AI has been more towards churning out the right information at the right time with the right question. Yeah. I believe there's a lot happening in the AI space. We are yet to see some tools which can actually start conditioning a human mind or start making, use of those LMM models, etc., to make a human think critically. That's still a little far off, in my opinion, on my exposure so far.
No,
Maybe
I
I should
totally
have a little more to add on it.
No, I totally agree on that, and we are at a stage where we are advancing towards these things. A bit more of gamification into education, which will be the solution to this, and that is how we can start taking baby steps in this region. Because we can't solve the problem like in one go, and we have to take piecemeal approaches to get to that. So carefully, sorted roadmaps to achieve to the end goal, but with little baby steps by starting with some sort of gamification in different aspects to where we can push students to think more about a particular problem and experience the problem. So because when you start doing more experiential learning, then you start getting more ideas. So probably that can be the first step, and we can we take it forward because it will be total experimentation, and we can't predict how it will pan out and how we will be able to achieve it. But it has to be done in a POC and then MVP format, wherein we experience, do careful research, do focus group discussions, get the feedback of the research, and then keep on building on top of it.
Thank you for that insightful explanation, both of you, Mr. Sudhir and Mr. Raj. And if I talk about the positive side of this, that how AI can enhance the development of critical thinking and problem-solving skills in students. So, according to me, it can provide students with adaptive learning platforms that challenge them to solve real-world scenarios and complex tasks, like the platform of gamification, and these tools encourage independent exploration, helping students approach problems from multiple angles and develop stronger analytical thinking. So, now moving to our next round, that myth busting round. Most common misconception that you have heard about AI in education.
I'm not sure. Maybe Aarsh could answer it better. I haven't really come across anything that I would probably want to look at as a.
Yeah, the first thing which I have heard about is like AI will eat up jobs,
I'm
which
sorry.
will AI will eat up
I
jobs,
was about
teachers.
to.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's if that is
that's
a
the
mistake.
first thing everyone comes across with, and then AI will create students a bit lazy. So these two are the most important ones which I've heard from different educators as well. Because, but I don't think this is true because ultimately technology is for our users. We have seen revolution and evolution since so many years, and we have like progressed into technology stage wise. We started with websites and with the .com bubble, and thereafter the emails. All things have happened, and then we got to the data like a burst with big data. But anything and everything has not taken the world back. We have moved as a society forward, and that is what it will help us to do it as well, AI, because this technology has to be treated as an assistive technology. It's about mimicking the human intelligence, so we can treat this technology as assistants to human, and as far as we are able to build up solutions which are on those lines only, then it is all good. So definitely a regulated environment is required to keep these things in check, and like a proper use case driven journey has to be maintained so that we can get to the right areas, solve the right problems, and get in the right areas only, and not do the wrong things. So yeah, with that we can definitely sort out this misconception. But I see AI as more an assistive technology for teachers and students, where they get a lot of computational power in seconds. They can research a lot. They can experiment with a lot of things. They can ask AI to do some creative things, and then on top of that, build their creativity. For example, we can now ask AI to build an image or a video, which will traditionally take a lot of time for students to create or build a PPT. So we should not see that this is a loss of creativity for students, but rather it is something which is providing a basic format for them, on top of which they can think more. They have more time to think. If someone is taking 3 4 hours to create a presentation, instead if you're getting a basic template format coming up, so you have got more time to think about how you can leverage that particular content or that particular asset to build more on top of it, or maybe utilize it in a way that okay, you can start thinking about different areas of the presentation to actually build up something which is more creative on top of it. So definitely I don't think like it is right to think in that way, but yeah, that is the misconception I've come across.
Understood. So I think I completely agree. Any technology coming over is just changing the nature of jobs.
Hmm.
It's really not eating into jobs. I mean, a classic example you have is of computers coming in, or maybe a product like Tally coming on board. So Tally has not made the accountants
Hmm.
jobless. It's just that the accounting earlier was done manually. There were people doing manual job, and now if you need to become an accountant, the basic requirement for you is to do Tally.
Ali,
As
yeah.
simple as that,
Hmm.
right? Similarly, for any other job, I mean, you look at a cashier at a mom and pop store anywhere in the country. Cashier was always required. Cashier is required even today. But for someone to operate a cashiering software, also you need a human being. So it's the nature of the job which is continuously evolving and changing, which will continue to happen. And I don't think there is any as far as the education space is concerned. I think we always hear the statement that AI will or technology will replace teachers, and the answer always is that the technology will never replace teachers. A tech-enabled teacher might replace a non-tech enabled teacher, which is fairly possible.
Yeah, definitely. And this
But
is a
possible
sector.
that is bound to happen.
Yeah. And this is a sector which is this sector is education sector, so it's all about educating people. So the more we leverage tech, the more we start learning about tech, the more evolution will come into the education space as well.
True.
Thank
That
you.
is bound to happen for sure.
Yeah.
Indeed, and thank you for addressing this crucial topic. And yes, for debunking this myth that AI in education will replace teachers, when in fact AI is designed to assist educators by automating administrative tasks and providing personalized learning insights. So, by clarifying this, you both have provided us insight on how AI empowers teachers, allowing them to dedicate more time to student engagement and creativity. So that's it for the day. And thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your valuable insights on this important topic. Your perspectives have truly enriched our understanding of how AI and EdTech are shaping the future of education. Thank you, Mr. Sudhir and Mr. Raj, for joining us today.
Thanks, Roshali. Thank you, Aarsh. Pleasure having you. Meeting you. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Likewise, Mr. Sudhir, and thank you, Rushali, as well.